Welcome in to a very special new series from the Devy Dojo. Tonight, it is the first session with the Sensei. And on this inaugural episode, we talk about one of my favorite prospects, one of the guys who embodies one of my sayings, which is what you go through molds you. Michael Penix was never supposed to make it this far. We're talking about a guy who had 3 straight season-ending injuries in college. I want you to think about the mental toll that takes, the rehab, the doubt. Think of the people around Michael Penix that probably told him that it's time to hang it up. And at some point, you have to wonder, how do you even justify coming back to a game that's done nothing but beat your body down? But Penix, to his credit, kept fighting. And something no model, no algorithm can quantify is the heart. When Michael Penix first transferred to Washington, he wasn't some buzzy Devy asset. He was a 3-star guy with a major injury history, a big arm, and some mobility, but obviously he was nowhere near the level of a Konami code quarterback. His footwork was inconsistent. He could zip the ball, sure, but the accuracy, well, it was inconsistent. It came and it went. If you were doing a Devy startup back then, Michael Penix would not have even been drafted. And honestly, I would have told people to fade him too. But what I didn't know back then, and what I've learned now, is that Michael Penix is the embodiment of what you go through molds you. Allow me to paint the picture. Michael Penix arrives at Washington with everything to prove, and in 2022, Michael Penix went nuclear. I'm talking 46,000 passing yards, 35 touchdowns. He was someone who had complete command of Kalen DeBoer's system, the same coach who coached Penix as an offensive coordinator back in 2019 at the University of Indiana. His mechanics improved, his footwork tightened, and the ball placement got sharper. He still had the whippy, pitcher-like release. Shout out to his background in baseball. But now, all of that was under control. Then in 2023, Michael Penix comes back for a 6th season and nearly hits 5,000 yards again. He wins the Maxwell Award, becomes a Heisman finalist, and leads Washington to the national championship. But the stat that really sticks out, according to PFF, Penix led the country in big-time throws in both 2022 and 2023. Michael Penix had 40 big-time throws in 2022 and 39 in 2023. No other quarterback had more than 33 in either season. That's elite. That is next level ball placement and aggressiveness downfield. And yet, in most leagues, in most Devy leagues, Michael Penix was never rostered. A future first-round quarterback just sitting there in the player pool. So the question becomes, was Penix an outlier? Or was Michael Penix a diamond in the rough that the community missed? For me, once he stayed healthy and Michael Penix put 2 full seasons of healthy tape, I saw everything I needed to trust my training. Michael Penix was layering throws to all 3 levels. He was showing touch, showing anticipation, and that elite velocity. His deep ball was second to only Jaden Daniels in 2023. And even that's a conversation. But one of the main knocks heading into the draft was just how little pressure he faced. Washington's offensive line didn't give up many sacks, and some folks questioned whether Michael Penix could still operate when the pocket wasn't clean. That's where the Sugar Bowl versus Texas came in. This was Michael Penix's proof of concept game to me. When I went back and looked at his film, this is the one that showed me exactly the type of person and the type of prospect that he is. Michael Penix absolutely diced up Texas. PFF charted him with 3 big-time throws in that game alone, and he handled pressure like a vet. Michael Penix was resetting his platform, climbing the pocket, and simply delivering strikes. He connected with Rome Odunze on multiple throws, including a few over the middle that required touch and timing, not just arm strength. And that's the thing. What Penix showed in that game mirrors what we later saw in the NFL with Drake London. Game on the line versus Oregon, deep fade to Odunze. Close shootout versus the Panthers, a deep fade to London. It was the same confidence, the same chemistry, and the same belief in his alpha. In his 3-game NFL sample to end 2024, Penix showed those exact same traits: command of the offense, rhythm in the pocket, and ball placement to the boundary. He wasn't under pressure often. Credit to Atlanta's offensive line. But we already saw he can handle it when it comes, thanks to the Texas tape in the Sugar Bowl. And that's the scouting mantra. If a prospect shows it once on their college tape, they can do it at the next level. I'm trusting my training on this one. Michael Penix is ready. He's already being drafted in the 4th, possibly the 5th range of Superflex startups. And if he starts hot, simply he's going to gain more value. Now, because of his injury history and because of his age, I doubt that he ever becomes that round 1 startup guy. But that just means that he's going to keep being of value later on in future startups. One last note. Penix loves targeting the boundary alpha, whether that's Odunze back at Washington, whether that's Drake London now in Atlanta. He zeroes in on his wide receiver 1, and he feeds them. The great news for Drake London managers, and a strong reason to buy in on the Penix before the breakout wave fully hits. That is all for today's session with the Sensei.
We are here. FantasySportsAdvice.com, offering the best fantasy sports social media platform. Why join endless Discord communities or the trolls of Reddit? Fantasy Sports Advice is a community designed to help you win with 24/7 support. Go to FantasySportsAdvice.com and become a pro member for unlimited access. Again, go to FantasySportsAdvice.com today.